Hey YouTube, welcome back to another History Teacher Reacts video. Mr. Terry, as I continue my search for historical knowledge found here on the internet. Alright, today's video comes from my new favorite channel here on YouTube, and that is Drawn of History. So Drawn of History is a new channel created by Mr. Betts, a great history teacher that is on YouTube and has done content, and he has done an awesome, funny, comedic, informative new animated history series called Drawn of History. And if you had seen, I had checked out his first video on the Virginia colony and want to check out another one here. So this one is The Pilgrims, America's favorite weirdo colonists. So this series is great. If you're into like oversimplified, kind of the funny and informative stuff, I think you are going to like this. And I'm excited to check out more with you guys. Now, the original video will be down below. Please make sure you like, subscribe, give view time to this new channel. It's a new channel and it really needs the support of you guys, and doing even simple things like likes and view time and definitely subbing goes a long way for channels like this. And I want a goal of my channel to be to promote as many great content creators that there is out there. So definitely do that. And if you like what we're doing here, if you like my video and if you subbed as well, that would be amazing to help support the channel. All right, links to some stuff down below, but let's go ahead and get started.
Brought to you by World of Warships. When Henry VIII broke away from the Catholic Church, he basically did a little copy-paste, a little find and replace, and called it a day. Still, many, inspired by the ideas of Protestant leader John Calvin, felt that these reforms didn't go far enough.
Okay, Puritans looking at Calvin, Anglican Church. Yeah, so this is great. Yeah, there's a branch of Protestants over in England that when Calvinism comes into play, Calvinism kind of gets more popular. I mean, really, it's after Henry VIII. Henry VIII is really the one that inadvertently brought Protestantism to England by breaking off from the church. And that's a whole different story, the Henry VIII story. You may have heard of that, but definitely look into it. But breaking away from the church, taking control of the church over in England, which really kind of, again, opened things up for other types of denominations to get popular. And some of those groups wanting to get away from kind of the Anglican Church there are going to come over. And some of them, again, were heavily influenced by Calvinism, another branch of Protestantism that is one of the early popular ones, especially right after the kind of creation of Lutheranism in a way with Martin Luther is one of the oldest of the Protestant sort of, I guess, churches, as you would call it.
These Puritans favored a simpler, less ceremonial, more community-driven church. They also believed in predestination, meaning God has already chosen who will be saved, making good deeds nice, but not the key to salvation. Well, guess we're dead. Yep. Wait, hey, am I going up? Oh man, you are! Wait, you were a total jerk. I know! See you later! Alright, just waiting for my turn.
Nope. Weren't predestined.
Why do I hear boss music? Now, Puritans held hope that the Anglican Church would come to its senses, follow their teachings, and, well, purify itself.
Anything.
But an offshoot of this group was known as the Separatists. They felt that the Church of England was a lost cause and that they needed to, well, separate from it. This made them a pariah from both Anglicans and other Puritans.
How do you like that? Even among misfits, you're misfits.
In places like Scrooby, they began to have secret meetings to practice their brand of Christianity. And since independent churches in England were illegal at the time, this led to them being fined and later arrested, and once freed, realizing, oh yeah, we gotta get out of here.
We out.
So in 1607, a group of separatists hatched a plan to flee to Holland, a significantly more tolerant place. Under the cover of night, the men would board a ship and pick up the women and children who were waiting at a nearby creek. But then...
It's the fuzz, we gotta go.
No! Our women and children!
I said we're leaving.
No! This isn't totally
The Red
bad.
District.
maybe we could just, Don't worry. The women and children joined them shortly after. Oh, hi, honey. Hi. There you are. We're so glad you're here. We were just saying hi. Settling in the Dutch town of Leiden, they were mostly free to practice.
You can tell. And that's what famous thing now is the Red District of Amsterdam. But you can tell these people aren't going to be sticking around very long.
Their faith, their way. But life in Holland wasn't completely ideal.
Yeah.
Yes, I know there are complications living here, but... Complications? I can't even find any decent work here to feed my family. Spanish Catholics are knocking on the door to Holland. Do we want to be here for that? I could do without the Dutch ovens. Madam, do you find it harder to cook here in Holland? Those ain't the Dutch ovens I be talking about, right, Larry?
And what of the children? They're becoming so Dutch I hardly recognize them anymore.
Alle eentjes zwemmen in het water. I'm gonna put my finger in the dike.
I don't understand what he's saying, and I don't think I care to. It's clear to this congregation that our time in Holland has come to an end. That we must return to England for the sake of us and our posterity. After all, how bad can it be? Oh yeah, that bad.
All right, off to jail with you. Welcome back, turds.
Separatist leaders like William Bradford and John Carver were left to wonder, was there anywhere on God's earth where they could live as Englishmen but not be persecuted by Englishmen?
I mean, keep an eye on William Bradford. He is going to be a huge part of these Puritan immigrants. Now,
that's it.
I'm sure I could get into it, but if you go back to the first video in this series, it goes over the founding of Jamestown, which is the first successful English colony. So it's shown that there is some success. Is very difficult, but if you come over to the New World or whatever over here to the west, that there are opportunities. It's gonna be very, very risky, but it has been done recently in the past decades.
For over a decade, England had been desperate to establish settlements in North America. Much of the Atlantic coast had been claimed for England by John Smith, but it's one thing to claim land and another to actually settle it. For King James, having a group that actually wanted to settle in North America was kind of new.
So you're telling me that they're volunteering to settle at the northernmost part of the Virginia colony?
Yes, Your Highness.
And if they survive, it'll be highly lucrative for me.
Yes, Your Highness.
And if they
Win-win.
don't survive, oh, well, less separatists to worry about.
Win.
Yes, Your Highness.
Well, you've twisted my arm. Here's your charter.
Thank you, Your
wait,
Majesty.
no, oh, here you go. You can have no. What? Sorry about that. What? Yeet.
The London Company would actually hold the charter for the prospective colony since the separatists had, like, no money left. They also had no ship or crew, so...
Gotta get
Mr.
some.
Coppin here is first mate on a ship that might suit us.
I'm Christopher Jones. I'm captain of the Mayflower. Coppin here tells me
Han
you're looking
Solo.
for passage to the Virginia colony. Yes, indeed. If it's a fast ship. A fast ship?
Never heard of.
You've never heard of the Mayflower? Should I have? It's the
This is
ship that
great.
made the Canary Island runs in less than 12 parsecs. What's the cargo?
37 separatists, 65 stranger colonists,
And
and
no
a
questions
couple of
asked.
chickens.
Alright, you guys have got yourself a ship.
Actually, they had two ships, the Mayflower and the Speedwell, and on August 5th, 1620, they set sail for America.
America.
And quickly noticed a small problem with the
Yep, the other
Speedwell.
one doesn't make it.
So they had to
It
return
was
to port.
extremely likely that your ship does not make it in these types of journeys. All these open water journeys that take weeks, it's very likely you don't make it.
repairs, but soon they were off again, sailing into their destiny. And the Speedwell started sinking again. All right, everybody that wants to go to America, get on the Mayflower. Pack it in. Not to butt, gentlemen. And ladies. Were those cannons I noticed below deck?
You bet they were. There's a lot out there on the open seas, what with pirates and Spanish and the Kraken.
Then how can I be sure we'll be safe out on the ocean? Because I've trained using this episode's sponsor, World of Warships.
Hey.
World of Warships is the awesome
Props to World of
free-to-play
Warships
naval
for
action
promoting
and
history
strategy
channels. They
game for
promoted my
PC.
channel,
You can play as some of the most famous
as
war
well as this
vessels
one.
in
Love
history.
that
I'm talking
there's
over
companies that
300
wanna
ships from
invest
10
in,
different nations.
history-
and with over 30 million
history-related
players
content.
worldwide, real-time weather
Definitely
effects,
check
and
that
new
out.
ships, missions, and other updates, this is the most exhilarating naval experience you can have, short of being on the high seas yourself. How do I know? Well, this used to be me. Look at that beardless freak! And for new players, World of Warships has this exclusive offer. Sign up with the link in the description and use the invite code BattleStations2020 and you'll get 250 doubloons, 3 days premium account, 1 million credits, 1 port slot, and oh yeah, the USS Charleston, a premium ship. World of Warships has been awesome enough to support Drawn of History, and you can too by trying out their incredible game. Now, back to the video.
Finally, on September 6, 1620, the Mayflower alone sailed out of the English port city of Plymouth and into history. And also into a metric buttload of storms. Turns out fall in the North Atlantic was about the worst time for them to try to cross. In one particularly bad storm, it appeared that all might be lost. Oh no, the main beam of the ship is cracked. If it goes, we'll be at the bottom of the briny deep for sure. We will pray to the Lord for deliverance. Forget your praying. Phil, get over here!
Now that's a lot of damage!
Can you fix it?
Flex tape. Yes.
Still, the storm had veered the ship
Look at the guy in the
way
back. Look at the guy in the back doing spins.
Still, the storm had veered the ship way off course. Originally, they were supposed to settle at Governor's Island next
Mario
to
3?
Manhattan. Oh, sure dodged
The
a
whistle.
bullet there. Is that a Dutch ship on the horizon? Oh, what the fart. The Mayflower sighted land on November 9th and figured out that they were 200 miles off course, off the coast of modern-day Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
Yeah, you may not have known that they go into Massachusetts and have that new colony, but they were trying to get down where the other Englishmen were.
Some aboard began to wonder if their charter
Down in
and
Virginia.
responsibilities to their investors were even valid anymore. Haha, we're free to do whatever we want. I ain't gonna let no man command me. I'm gonna keep everything I find. I'm gonna hang the toilet paper under instead of over. Enough. We will draft an agreement, a Mayflower Compact, in which we will reaffirm our loyalty to God and King James, and we will establish a civil body politic to create any laws needed for the good of the
Earliest
colony.
government there, up
The
north.
first being toilet paper will always be hung in the over position. I don't know who keeps on doing it. We're not savages, people. Being in the wrong location also meant that they had to find a new place to live. Enter Miles Standish, English veteran and leader of the exploration party. Oh, this shoreline looks promising. Oh, Lord, Miles, there are skeletons in the water.
Oh, no.
Nonsense. They are merely the fabled tribe of skeleton warriors. Now be quiet, lest you wake them from their slumber. Men, look, I've found sustenance. Miles, don't you think someone buried this corn? Nonsense, that's just how corn grows in the Americas.
Natives.
The Lord has provided us with housing. Miles, there are bones littered throughout this clearly abandoned and cursed village. Listen, William, do you want me to settle us at Roanoke? Because if you don't shut up, I'm settling us at Roanoke. Good
Oh, no.
news, everyone.
Roanoke,
We found
if
a
you saw
place.
that was the first attempt the English had at trying to make a colony. Ends up being terrible, and they have to leave it. And a ton of people died and stuff. So there's that reference.
To live. So, in that late December of 1620, those separatists, no, those pilgrims, because I'm tired of saying separatists, and the adventurers they called strangers disembarked the
Redundant.
Mayflower and stepped forth into what they would call New Plymouth. Oop, wait, hey guys, watch out. There's a rock. But life would be tough for these saints and
Plymouth
strangers.
Rock.
Turns out Massachusetts in the winter
Yeah, it's
is
not.
pretty cold. Who knew? And in true colonial
I mean, the whole East Coast was rough, man. The whole Atlantic coast of the United States, hard place to settle up. It's not like other places in the world.
fashion, half of them died by springtime. The dead were buried at night in unmarked graves as not to let the local Native Americans know of the colony's dwindling population. Speaking of the Native Americans, an Indian named Somerset soon came into the village. Wow, you guys are hosed. I'll be back. And he did come back with Massasoit, leader of the Wampanoag. Jeez, you weren't kidding. They're totally hosed. Massasoit, we have come in peace. Yeah, you got a funny way of showing it, stealing everybody's corn out of the ground. Listen, I got problems too. I got the Narragansett tribes breathing down my neck, and I could use a little extra muscle. You guys got guns? Why, yes, and we have the power of the Lord. Yeah, whatever. How's about we just come to a little agreement? You need us, and we need you. You get our back, and we get yours. Deal?
And stop stealing food. You're pissing people off. Squanto, he's from around here. He'll show you how to grow your own food.
He can speak.
This was your home?
Yeah, until I was kidnapped by an English explorer, brought across the ocean, and returned to find everyone dead as some kind of plague.
The Squanto story is interesting because, yeah, he had this interaction already with Englishmen, and he was one of the people, that meets and helps them survive. But he had learned English and stuff like that, so he brought that, when he comes back to the Americas, and helped teach that way and help communicate.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, then John Carver died.
Yeah, they all kind of look like that. Anyway, let me just show you how to grow some corn. So the soil around here, it's garbage. So what you gotta do is you gotta plant your corn and your squash and your bean seeds with dead fish.
But we're not trying to grow fish.
Well, that's good, because you can't grow fish, idiot. The dead fish helps the crops grow.
I want the dead fish, just eat the seeds.
Can't we just feed the seeds to live fish? Does this make the crops taste like fish?
They were so dumb.
It doesn't. Would it be?
That was I mean, a stereotype of those early settlers is they were not survivalists. They did not understand. That's why like Roanoke failed and Jamestown was so difficult. These people, they didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know how to use the terrain. These were people that thought it would be very easy to set up shop here, and learned a hard way. If not for these Native American groups learning or teaching them how to do agriculture and stuff like that, they wouldn't have survived.
A problem if it did?
I don't really like fish.
How did I ever get kidnapped by guys like you?
Somehow, the colony survived the first year. And in late September or early October, the harvest was celebrated. All of Plymouth was there. Massasoit came with 90 of his men, and a number of Thanksgiving traditions were established. Plentiful food, not remembering the name of the person seated next to you but being too embarrassed to ask, and 20-pound lobsters that, yes, aren't a modern tradition, but holy moly do I wish they were. Here we dine, saints and strangers, Englishmen and Americans. Our bellies are full, our kin is near, and our lands are peaceful. And good Lord willing, may it ever stay this way.
Hey, if we throw the corn in the ocean, will that grow fish then?
You know, maybe farming ain't for you. You should probably just subscribe to Drawing a History over here, or maybe check out this video over here. You can always play World of Warships, link down in the description, because you ain't gonna be like these Patreon patrons. Now those guys, they can grow corn.
Hey, is this how they make Swedish fish?
Can't wait for you to die.
All right, what a great video. This series and this channel has so much potential to be one of the heavy hitters out there. It's brand new, but the content is so great. So that was great. Even more than the first episode I'd watched. Way more of the humor. Super informative with a lot of the events that happened there. And I learned some stuff too. I did not really know much about the Puritans' activities before they went to England, or before they left England, like with them in the Netherlands. I did not know much about that story at all. So that was really cool to see that history of them, their issues before they come over. Because really, for like a lot of Americans, they just think of it starts, they were fleeing religious persecution or wanted religious freedom, but seeing what those events were like before. But it was good also to see, a little bit more of the Native American group that were teaching them how to basically survive in this area here with that stuff. And it showed, again, the ignorance of these settlers there, of not really knowing how that works there. So this is a great series. If you are interested in American history or American history student of any kind, I think the comedic format's gonna be great. If you're not an American, then I think it's gonna be really informative for you to get basic stuff out of that while keeping it kind of funny, that you didn't have to know much about this stuff beforehand. I think it's a great entry-level thing for people, American and not, that want to learn about American history in a funny way. So definitely please support that channel. The original video link is down below, so make sure you click on it, sub to the channel, check out, there's a bunch of other, they've done some other videos there, and I hope to get to them as time goes on here, but that'd be great. And a lot of it's kind of going along, it looks like, with, if you're doing this, watching this stuff live with your curriculum, if you are an American history student right now, as it's trying to kind of stay with where you're probably at topic-wise. So great way to prepare and have a fun time doing it. All right, but yeah, the original link is down below. Hopefully if you like this video too, you give it a like and subscribe for on my end of things. I really appreciate that. Some links down below to some other things. If you're into gaming, definitely check out my new Twitch channel, Mr. Terry History, where I am streaming, as well as on my YouTube gaming channel, where I've been streaming actually for a few months now. And so that's Mr. Terry Gaming, but Mr. Terry History on Twitch if you're into that kind of stuff down there. If you want to talk with some other history fans, definitely join our Discord server and our community. That link is down below. If you'd like to vote on videos, you can think about joining Patreon. If you want some fun history merch, we have some great artists that work on some stuff, some history-related designs and things that are a lot of fun in our Teespring account that's also down below. All right, with that, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.